Alright, I'm gonna be fishing today. Once upon a time, there were two geese, Canadian geese, just like these ones sitting by the water right now. Can you see them? They're right in front of me, hanging out, doing birdie things, having bird chat. Once upon a time, there were two, count them, two Canadian geese. And these geese were lovers. They had met over coffee. The woman goose was on her MacBook at the coffee store, and the man goose had walked in just to grab a coffee and ended up getting up the balls to sit down across from her while she was on her computer. And he said, "Hey, what you working on?" I mean, completely making himself vulnerable to anything she could say, and she just showed him what she was working on, and that was it. They were hitched. And so anyway, so we have these two Canadian geese. What am I doing? I need a lure. And they met at the coffee store, and they really got along, and they got coupled up. We're gonna use this green one. They got coupled up. Hey, look, he's coming real close to me. Don't get nipped. And so these two guys got coupled up, and things were going good. They had a pretty good financial standing. The man goose made a little bit less than the woman goose because she was just a little bit more organized and good at workforce type of things you get into, like talking to bosses and getting jobs, interviews. She was just a little bit better at that, so she made a little more income than the man goose. But it wasn't, they liked each other more than to allow their income to dictate their feelings toward each other. And that's a good thing. Let me see if I can get this guy on here. This is looking righteous. Ooh. All right, we got our little fishing guy. And so, yeah, they were a pretty standard couple. Just a couple geese. And they lived average geese lives. They lived separate. The man goose lived with one roommate who was about the same age and worked in the same office building as him. The woman goose worked in another office building, pretty close actually to the man goose, and she lived on her own with her salary. But they spent pretty much every day, they would see each other at least once, whether it was going over to one another's house or meeting up out in the world, grabbing coffee at the place where they met, or going to see a movie, or meeting up on their breaks at work to enjoy a bagel and chat for a while. They always saw each other almost every day. They would spend some time together physically, not just texting over the phone. And a lot of those times were over at each other's house. They would watch a movie and cuddle up and fall asleep sometimes. And on all accounts, they were both happy. And they really enjoyed spending time together. There were not really fights. Sometimes one of them could tell that the other one was a bit annoyed or maybe wanted to be left alone, and they were able to respect that. And they actually had one experience where the woman goose wanted to be left alone, and the man didn't realize that, and she actually got pretty fed up and there was nothing he actually did. And luckily enough, their communication was strong, and they realized that, and they decided from then on out, if they ever felt like, okay, we need to, not talk for a day, or not talk in this moment, because I'm just kind of fed up with things and I want to be left alone, they had a safe word. They said, duck, duck, go. No, they said, all right, ducky, duck. And ducky, duck meant, let's not talk for a little bit. Ducky, duck. That meant, hey. I mean, that was so rare, though. All I'm saying that is just that it was rare. I mean, they never got in fights. They kept communication open. And, yeah, things were good. The woman duck really wanted to settle with the man duck. She felt that her parents liked him. He made decent enough income. Oh my God. My line actually got stuck on a tree. Look at that. I don't want this thing to swing down and hit me. There we go. She liked him, and her parents liked him, and he didn't make as much as her, but he made more than enough for them. I mean, she didn't take that into super even account. I mean, she liked him genuinely. She liked who he was. Now, the man duck, however, he was a little bit still conscious of the fact that she might not be the one, right? He really liked her. He got along really good with her parents, like I said, but he just kept reservations. Maybe he was afraid that he'd end up like wanting someone else once things got settled in, and so he kept reservations. And so as it is, the two geese had a pond that they liked to fly to every Saturday night, sort of ritually. That was their date night spot on Saturdays, was a pond. They would fly there at the same time at sunset each Saturday, swim around and enjoy each other's company. Especially because usually there was nobody at this pond. So they got to share it with each other. What the hell? Hold on. What is going on? So they got to spend time just one-on-one, and they both really enjoyed that. The woman goose really enjoyed it because she just enjoyed solitude. She enjoyed the calm, the peace, the feeling of being protected by her goose in the aloneness, in the darkness of the sun setting. The man goose liked it because he didn't have to worry about other dudes, you know? Like a lot of times when they would go on dates, he would get anxiety, you know, like anxious feelings by other dudes, other geese, man geese. He would feel like vulnerable, intimidated, or just worried in general that these guys were better than him, and his woman goose might see one of these guys and be thinking that he would sort of worry about this thing. He had anxieties about it when they would go out, so he loved being alone with her at this pond. It cleared that up. It was just the two of them. And so it was Saturday night, date night, at the pond, like usual. Hold on. But, oh shit. What the hell is going on up there? Alright, hold on. Alright. I hate that. But, as they were flying, as they were coming to the pond, as they neared the pond, they saw that there was a goose in the pond. And it was a dude. And the man goose was immediately tempered by this. He was upset, really frustrated. The woman goose didn't mind it. She didn't really see it as anything. She thought, I mean, it's just an open pond. Anybody can be there. It's just a guy. We can still have our same type of date. But the man goose was just kind of furious. I mean, yeah, he was furious. He loved this time when it was just them two together, and in his eyes, since he had a girl there, he deserved to be in that pond with her more than this other guy, because that guy was alone. And so he flew down and he chased that goose out of the water. Chased that guy out of the water, showed his dominance, and the girl goose just kind of stayed with him by his side. They chased that guy out of the pond, and that guy went up onto the shore and just kind of stood there, kind of like, well, okay, well, what do I do now? And the man goose and the girl goose went back into the pond and did what they would normally do, and the other guy goose just kind of just hung around, like kind of like he really wanted to enjoy the pond, but this guy was being a total asshole. And he kind of like walked down to the pond and got in the water again, and here comes big Mr. Dominant Goose chasing him out again. And it happened like 2 or 3 times before this man goose just ended up saying, fuck this, and leaving entirely. He flew away. And so the man goose went back to the woman goose and he said, look, Like, me and you want to share this time of solitude at this pond. This is important to us. That guy can do something else. It's just him. He can do something else like he probably does any other day. That's why I feel right in kicking him out. And the girl goose sort of a little bit, maybe, what's the word? Caught off guard by her man's show of dominance, just went with it. She agreed and said, yeah, you're right. She said, yeah, you're right. That guy, I mean, he can probably find something else to do. Even though normally under normal circumstances, she wouldn't have really agreed with that type of idea. Like everybody's supposed to share the part. But no, she had just witnessed this guy's dominance, and she really looked up to him, and she also kind of wanted to be alone, so she just went along with it. Yeah, and there's a lot of gunk in this pond today. I don't know, seems like I just keep getting gunk. Like this, it's not even on it's just on my line. I mean, okay. Yeah, I think there's just gunk in the water. Because that doesn't feel like a bite, that feels like gunk. Yeah, like, dude, I just got a leaf. Who the fuck is gonna eat a leaf? I can't eat a leaf. And so I think the reason why I'm getting into this is because I find a lot of distaste in the way that couples can sort of mutually feed into each other's bullshit. And even into each other's egos, to the point where you have two people walking around thinking they're better than everyone, and that really pisses me off. I can't exactly explain why that pisses me off so fucking badly. Might have something to do with growing up or something, you know, some sort of like ingrained things, but it pisses me off to imagine a couple going home and saying like, oh yeah, fuck that guy, or yeah, that guy was retarded, or, you know, it sends me to the fucking sun and back. How fucking pissed I get imagining that. And for that reason, I think it's important to keep God's commandments in a relationship. You know, God says, don't judge, don't look down on people. He also says, don't gossip, don't talk about people when they're not there. So yeah, let's see, we're at 19 minutes, wow. Alright, I think that's good.